welcome to Happy Catastrophe. I'm Candice, and this is the finished pages that I've done for the month of May 2024. This is a favorite video of everyone's. We all love to watch these to see what we've done for the month, and it's just an opportunity for us to show you the efforts of all of our hard work. I have been out gardening a lot today, so ragged fingernails. And the way my light is set up, it makes me look very tan. I'm actually very pale, but I'll take it. Look at me, bathing sun beauty. Woo-hoo-hoo! All right, let's look and see what I did for May. What I did for May. So we sort of looked at this in my June plans when I showed you, and if you haven't seen that video, that's already up. June plans where I showed you how I track things, kind of like that, hot mess style, and from month to month, all my notes, and finished too. That's cute. In May, I finished 11, which is good. 10 is always something that I shoot for, so 11's great. Out of those 11, 4 of them were untouched books. Fantastic. Working away at that. There were 2 new to me artists, which is really cool. I try to always get at least one in there. I like to, and I usually find them on Etsy. In fact, 100% of the time, Etsy. I didn't purchase any, I didn't de-stash any, but I was gifted one. And I flipped through that and showed you what that was in my June plans video, because I'm actually doing a page in that for June. I did 2 color by numbers. Usually you can gauge my mental health for the month by how many color by numbers I do. The more color by numbers, the more I just needed to detach from reality for a while. I did 3 PDFs, which is something that I love to do. I find them to be, instant gratification. I go on Etsy, I find a page I like, and most of the time I just purchase that page. So it's a couple dollars. I get it immediately. I can print it out, and I can print it as many times as I want. So I use that as license to just totally take chances, push what I know how to do, because I can always just reprint it if it really fails, but only once if I had to do that. The rest of the time I've been able to rescue all of my experiments. And then I did 5 buddy colors, which is kind of where I max out at, because if I'm only doing 10 a month, I want to have some choices that aren't buddy colors that just might randomly pop up. Like, oh, that, I come across a page and I just want to do that page. I'm not, the total books and total untouched, I'm leaving unfilled out, not filled out. For now, because I'm in the process of doing a coloring book audit and making sure that I do this about every year, where I go through all of my books and make sure that my total pages are accurate, that the books are accurate, that I still have that book, and I'm going to take you along on that journey with me. So we're not doing that quite yet. And then it looks like I missed a buddy here, but this one with Jess is one that we've both put off because we just kind of ran out of steam on that one. And I didn't get I belong to Doodle Robot. She has a group, an Instagram group that's doing daydreams, that's going through the book Daydreams by Hannah Carlson, and they pick a page every other month, and I didn't do mine this month. So that's 2 little semi-commitments that I didn't get to. But it was Mermaid. So did lots of mermaid stuff. So let's begin, see what I did. Okay, so my first page that I did of the month was a buddy color with Jackie, and she's at Spare Room Studio. And I know you've seen her images on Instagram. She is phenomenal. She does beautiful, beautiful pages. I was really excited to do a buddy with her. And so we wanted to do a nice little town one out of the nice little town 9, which is Atlantis. And it's all these mermouse, right? Mermaids. And I have the books 4 through 11. I'm first going to show you hers. And so here's hers. It's absolutely gorgeous. And what's funny is that we weren't clear. We talked about this. We weren't clear if the picture was of an interior or an exterior, like a porch or something. So Jackie did it as an interior. And of course she used a palette that worked well, and she just raised it up a notch. She took these sweet, simple pages and just brought it up a notch. And the colors are gorgeous, like hers always are. She's very, very consistent in her coloring. It's always stunning. And I absolutely loved it. Of course, I believe, we shared them together when we were both done. So let's look at mine. Just keep in mind how beautiful Jackie's was. Because, wow, what happened here? Wow, okay. Okay. So I chose it to be an exterior. I thought it was like a little garden area, and this was the walls of her house. But I was not feeling well that day. The 2 days that I did this. And I basically was grabbing any color that looked good in the pile and just put it on there. So it's all alcohol markers. There's a little white Posca in there, but the rest of it's all alcohol markers. And there's layers and layers of alcohol markers, because at some point I felt a little bit better and I was like, oh, this looks awful. So I just tried to fix it. But I think there's some acrylic paint pen in here too. It's like I had one idea for her and another idea for here and another idea for here, and none of them go together. But you know what? I'm okay. I mean, I don't have any problems with colorings that don't turn out that well. I mean, I do like the brightness and the contrast of this green. This green is a difficult green to use, and I'm not sure why I grabbed it. Because it would be cool if then I kind of went with that sort of brightness for the rest of the page, but I didn't. Then I went kind of realistic in here, and then I went fantasy for her purple and pink hair. Just did some glittering things on her tail. And then I went realistic for the broom. I just didn't have a cohesive plan for this page. So this is what we get. And I don't know, looking at it, I'm fond of it because it reminds me of that night where I just did not feel well. And I was like, blah, picture, color, windows are yellow, walls are brown. That's kind of what I did. And we have days like that, right? We have days like that. So this is mine, very different from Jackie's. And I was like, woohoo, starting off the month with a bang. Vomit the colors, hot mess. It's almost like a clown colored it. All right. So after that, I figured maybe I could try my alcohol markers again and try to fix my brain a little bit and get back on track. So let me show you what I did after this. All right. So then we went to this wonderful book. Now, I know it's out of print, and I don't understand why. I was watching Bianca Iris. This is her channel here, and I highly recommend her. She's a channel I just recently found not that long ago, and I absolutely love her to pieces. And she was saying that it's a tragedy and it hurts her heart that people can't get this book anymore. And I agree. This is a fantastic book. It's it ties with my top favorite of hers with the Gnomes in the Neighborhood. Those two are both really good. Now she has a new one coming out next year, which is Goblins, and it's really cute. And I would recommend scooping it up because I don't know why this happens, but sometimes popular books go out of print. And I'm keeping an eye out for you guys. I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace and eBay and anywhere I could find to see if I could find more copies of this to let you know that there's copies, but so far nothing. So anywho, Mermaids in Paradise, I did another buddy, and this buddy was with Donna at Dabbler D. Here's her moniker. And we did the Tiki Bar. Now, this one was a lot of fun. All of Denise Klett's fun. But this one was cool because I chose to do it at night. And Donna, who you will see in a minute, did it a daytime. which is cool. So my nighttime one here, she's the board owner of the bar, and there's her octopus bartender. I used alcohol markers on everything, and then where it's glitterific is a glitter gel pen. So there's my glitterific there's the patrons of the bar. There's her, and she's also got a glitter pen. I would use a different pen for that big of a space in the future. This is just real cheap glitter pens, just the ones I have that I probably got off of Wish a dozen years ago or something. And I used them for the tail, but it doesn't really show that well. And what happened was I realized I couldn't shade once I got that glitter. I shaded a little, but rubbing the glitter pen sort of rubbed it. I don't know. It just kind of went funny, and I couldn't shade the tail the way I wanted to shade it. So I would not put that particular pen on the tail next time. I would also do better shading before I glitterified it. I made, of course, this is alcohol markers. So the way I do this glow is I start with like a greenish yellow, and then a yellowish yellow, and then an orange, and I just sort of bring it out. But starting with the brightest color on the inside. Same with the green, same with the pink. All of them pretty much have that same bright greenish yellow in the middle, and then they go out to different colors. Then of course you take the little white Posca and you make it indicate that it's glass with the reflections. I really had a lot of fun with this page. I really like this page. I've made a few of my mermaids in Denise's books have pink hair, so I need to branch out and do other colors, but I just really like the ombre pink and her ladies. They're really a lot of fun. I like her glittery clothing too. And that octopus cracks me up. He's got an eye patch, which just cracks me up. So the eye patch, and then the fish in the glasses. Like, why are there fish in the glasses? And do they get eaten? Or are they just for looks? Or maybe the cocktails are for the fish, and the fish in the glasses are drinking the cocktails? I don't know. There's fish everywhere. There's fish as lights, there's fish as drinks, and there's fish saddling up to the bar to be served. So I don't know what's going on. So let's look at Donna's. Okay, this is hers, and she did it a daytime one, which I thought was so fun. It was fun to see these two together. We both posted on Instagram, and it was fun to just, swoop side by side and to scroll and see each one of them. So one was day and one was night. Hers is so beautiful. She did a fantastic job with her palette. And with the colors that she chose, it just all went together really, really, really well. And just a really pretty page. So that was a lot of fun. Donna's a good friend of mine, and it was just a delight to do a page with her. So this was a favorite page of mine this month. I really thought it turned out pretty much exactly the way I wanted, and it was the palette cleanser that I needed after that disastrous mouse one. This was exactly what I needed. But I then went on and did a color by number. Need a little brain relaxation. So let's look at that. So this is one of those Les Grands Classiques, the Hachette Heroes. This is Tomb 10. And I have done a little bit out of this already. This was definitely not an untouched book. I do love this one. I think the pictures are really bright and beautiful. They're not too dark. When I can't afford to get them all, I can only afford to get a few. So when I went to go buy one, I really looked at a lot of them and thought, I have a mess over here. I've been doing a lot of coloring, and thought that this one had a lot of great pages. So I think I have one in the back here. Yes, I did that for Doodle Robot. And I thought the pages and the pictures were good, so I got Tomb 11. Tomb 10. Tomb 11 is out, and it's the first one they've had with the double page spreads. Oh, that one is on my list, because I have got, as soon as I can find any extra cash, I want to get that because they're fantastic. But what I did here is I usually go in order. Once I start getting serious about the book, I go in order. But I really wanted to do an underwater page, and I didn't want to do Ariel. It's like Ariel was everywhere. So I decided to do a scene from Little Mermaid, and that's this one. So here we are. And this, of course, is Sebastian. That's right. That's his name, right? And he's conducting an orchestra. This was a lot of fun. I did a lot of different things here. I'm, of course, acrylic paint pens, Tule Arts for the smaller spaces, and some of my cheap ones. There may be the Artex, which are not very opaque. You have to put like 3 layers of them on, and then some cheap ones from China I have, some no-name ones. For the bigger spaces, I think I even used some acrylic paint in here, which it makes more sense for the bigger spaces. In here, what I did was I did it all in green, and then I did another color of green doing the lines, because I didn't want it to be solid. And then I took a glitter gel pen and kind of put some glitter. So I really just wanted to make the background have some texture, because I thought it was water. I think it is water. And so that's what I did. That was my little Sebastian. Now this one was a lot of fun. I have found that I need to do the color first and then the black outline last, because although doing the black outline first is nice because it shows you where to color and how big like if you do the black outline, it shows you how big the space is so you can judge what pen to use. But I make so many mistakes. I go into the back line that I just have to do the black line again to make it look crisp and clean, and that's just too much. That's double the effort. So I do my black outlining last. I really admire people that do it first. I don't know how they do it. But I had a lot of fun. I didn't have quite all the right colors, so my fish is a little odd. I just have a small pack of Tule Arts. I just have the earth tones. Oops, sorry, bumping my light, bumping everything to get this little tiny box of. I have these. I want to get. I have others that I've put on my list. I'm waiting. Of course, always waiting for money. I need to quit just saying that. Just say someday I will get it. This is. I think the next one that would be helpful would be the Essentials, because it has more, like these are muted tones and they're gorgeous and I love them. The Essentials has the primary tones, which is also what I need. So I think between the two of those, that would be a really nice combination for a while. But I think it did pretty well with the acrylic pens I had. And I also need to just get out my acrylic paints, because I can mix any acrylic paint, and I have Hemi gouache as well, which works. So what do you guys think? Do you like it? I think it's fun. These pages are not any faster than any other page. I mean, they still take me a few days. I find them to be very slow going, but I also find that I don't really have to think. So that's where they're good. I can just, once I've got the colors picked, I just set the pens all here, and then I can just watch videos or think, or mostly not think, and just rest my brain, and they're very restful. All right, so after this, I decided my brain had rested enough, and I tackled a Kirby page. All right, I bet you thought I was going to say Alien Worlds. That Alien Worlds Space Explorer group that we have going on is phenomenal. If you guys are interested, we have 31 or 2 people in there now from all over the home base Earth planet. They've got their home bases all over Earth, and we're in various stages of outfitting the ship, or we're in flight, or we're already on the planet. And there's a couple of folks that are even starting to wrap up the Lost Paradise planet. And because we span all kinds of time zones, there's always someone in the chat room to talk to. So it's really become a community. So if you're interested at all in coloring Alien Worlds and nerding out, getting your Space Explorer name, your ship name, and totally nerding out with us, just direct message me on Instagram is the best way to do it. I'll see it right away, and I'll get you in there. Okay, and it is an Instagram group. You don't need a YouTube account or YouTube channel. You obviously have an account if you're watching this, but you do need Instagram. Okay, so this is Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosanes. Now, Alien Worlds and Mythic Worlds are my favorite books of his. I have most of his books, all of his newer ones, and none of the compilation ones, though. But and I've worked a lot in Mythic Worlds and Alien Worlds, and I could not believe it when I was looking through my books, but this was an untouched book. This is one of my favorites of his. I have no idea how I've had it now and not done it. Now, to to give me credit, it is newer. See, look how nice it is. I haven't had a chance to mangle it yet. I bought it not that long ago, but long enough. There's no excuse for me not to have done a page in it. So for Mermaid, I did the Mermaid. I think it's officially a siren is what he calls it. Now, this one, I don't have it cracked very well, so I kind of don't want to because the pages fall out. So I'll hold this up. I knew exactly what I wanted to do with this one from beginning to end, and it came out exactly the way I saw it in my head, which is just so rare. And I had kind of done that with the Mermaid one. There's a lot of Mermaid ones this month. With the Denise Klett Mermaids in Paradise one that I was just on a roll now. So this is what I do all my Kirby pages with, and that's the Tim Holtz watercolor pencils. Which I like to call pigment sticks because they're not pencils at all. And I use them like paint. And so I did this. Now the background is that as well. The background is black soot. No, it's not black enough for black soot. I can't tell you offhand what color it is. I think it's probably hickory smoke. But I have the first 3 sets. I'm working on getting the 2 that were just released this year or last year, because that completes the entire set. And then every distress ink color that he wanted to make into one of these pencils is done. He feels that the palette is done, so he's not going to be making any more. So, and by him I mean Tim Holtz. So that, but even with just those 3, you could just make all kinds of colors because you can mix and match and whatever you want to do with them. And you can do different effects. Like this is very smooth, and I use different colors of red and orange. Like I think in here is the campfire one and the brick one. The orange one is, I think it's lumberjack plaid. And then, and the yellow, all that is just distressing. Now I did a teeny tiny bit of shading with polychromos, mostly in the cracks and crevices. Like, no, I don't even see any in there, but like in here, I know there is some just to deepen the shadows. That's it. The rest of it is just the watercolor pencils. So it goes really fast. I think I did this in 2 evenings, which is, hold on. Jack is laying in front of his window waiting for someone to come by because his buddy who usually comes by every evening hasn't been by yet. So he's on watch for him. Anywho, so yeah, it's very, very easy to just use these, like paint with a brush. Like I've said before, you dip the tip of the watercolor pencil in water so it's wet. You dip your brush in water so it's wet, and then you take the paint off the end of off the tip, just like most of you do with watercolor pencils. But it's solid pigment. There's no wood in it, so it's just really opaque, depending on how much water you use. So yeah, I get these really deep dark colors with just those pencils. But for shading, so I like use, blacks and browns for shadings. My polychromos blacks and browns are like that big. But, and that's it. The rest is all. Now the glittery stuff is my fave. The Kuretake Ganzai Tombi Starry Nights. Look how well loved that is. Watercolors, love those. Looks like this. Fantastic. And so shiny, the shiniest gold I found. And so I use that, and affordable. So I put the gold blotches all over. I think that's all that oh, and I put some glitter gel pen down here in some of the gems, some of the hoard that she's got. But I really liked her. I thought she came out, I keep saying she, but I don't know. Could be a he, could be genderless. I think probably genderless, a monster like this. Came out really the way I wanted it to come out. And I love how dynamic it looks with the shading that helped. It really does help to do a little shading with pencil on top of these paints, although I have done pages with just those watercolor pencils, just the distress ink pencils. But it takes it to another level when you add a little bit of shading, like these fish, the blue and purple fish. I wasn't going to do anything more to them, but I did do a little shading around there. You can see it around. I made them, they're brighter in person than they show on this camera because it's starting to get dark and outside. And But I don't mind that they sort of aren't something you just sort of see out of the peripheral vision, because I wanted the siren to be the extreme focus in here. And I made the seaweed look kind of like, I made everything kind of with yellows. I didn't really use any greens in here. I normally make, my seaweed green, but I really wanted it all to just be like flames and fiery. I really wanted this to be like a fiery mermaid. So I was really proud of this one, and I really enjoyed doing it. And of course, it made me wanted to bust out the rest of this book. This book is just one of his best, and I can't wait to do more out of it. So, okay, and then after this, I was getting into the mood for spooky, kind of mystical, spooky stuff, darker stuff. So let me show you what I did to a buddy color. All right, so this is another untouched book. I have a 3, I think, of Camila d'Erico's. I do not have her water one with the mermaids and magical creatures. I'd like to get that one, but I'm not letting myself until I start coloring in hers. And I've had a hard time finding a rhythm coloring in these because they're double-sided, so I can't use my favorite mediums. But I had a buddy, and this was a buddy with a couple different folks. This was with Donna, again, at Dabbler D, and Emily at eArt Studios. And these two ladies wanted to do something out of this book too, and I can't remember who brought it up first. It might have been me, just because I needed to work in it or stop getting Camila's books. So what we chose was this page. Now, I don't know the best lighting for it, actually, because it's getting dark outside. When I looked at this page, it was funny, the 3 of us looked at this page and saw 3 different things, which is cool, right? I thought it was odd that we're seeing the back of the mermaid, who's probably, I would say, the main character here, but the front of the supportive character. So we're not seeing her face. We're seeing her whole back, and we're seeing his face. And his face can be interpreted in a couple different ways, but I interpreted it as sort of hypnotic longing. Like I feel like he is mesmerized by her. And I think we kind of all kind of thought that, but we took it to different levels. So I went spooky with it and made myself a very moody backdrop here. Now, this is distress ink, and I think I used water with it. And that's why I got these weird splotches, which gave it a really cool texture, and I really kind of liked it. So I then started intentionally doing that. So that is distress ink, the pads, and then just rubbed in with a blender brush. Same with down here. I did the same colors as up here, just darker. And I really just wanted to make it very moody, very gray and purple. And then for her, I actually did her in pencil, believe it or not, and I used my Color pencils, and they worked out really, really well. And then I took just an acrylic marker, a black acrylic marker, to make her hair look even stringier, because I really wanted to make her more disturbing than anything else. And then I put him last, and I kind of grabbed the wrong pencil, but then I was kind of happy I did make him so bright. I was going to make him, with the white shirt and kind of, but I didn't really know how to do the white shirt. And so I thought, well, I'll make him like tans, because I kind of wanted him to go with the rest of the color scheme and kind of just sort of be dull and blend in. But then I grabbed this bright, and of course I don't swatch. So, but I kind of like it now. It's a little jarring, I think, although yellow and purple goes together. That yellow and that purple, I'm not sure does. But But then again, I kind of like it because it's a reminderment that he is from another world. He's from the world of the living and the bright. And she is not so much. I had a blast working with the different pencils, making this shading. It's just basically starting with a black pencil and going into darker purple, lighter purple, pink, and then back down to the black again. And just making sure that I keep that light stripe down the middle so it gives the illusion that it's rounded and that she's glistening. And that's what I did for her. And actually, this turned out to be such an easy page that I'm like, why am I not doing more? I need to, feel like I want to use pencils that day because pencils work pretty good in here and the inks work good. I would imagine paints work good, but I found that the paper really reacted to water very, very strongly. I didn't use very much water at all, and it crinkled pretty good and thinned out some, so I wouldn't use much water on this at all. I would try to use dry mediums as much as possible, but that would be my alcohol ink, and of course, can't use it. Unless you want to sacrifice the page on the back, which I've never done, but I think I want to be willing to do it, but I didn't want to sacrifice that one. That's a beautiful page. So, yeah. So let's look and see what everyone else did. Now, so let's look at Emily's first. Emily is from eArt Studios, and is that not gorgeous? I mean, the sky is just breathtaking, and the whole thing is just beautiful, and it's definitely got a little mermaid vibe to it, like the Little Mermaid from the original fairy tale, not the Ariel version. Absolutely beautiful, and she posted it on Instagram with this beautiful haunting song to it. It's just the whole feel of it is just beautiful. I loved it. Thank you for coloring this with me, my friend. And then next we have Donna's. Now, Donna at Dabbler D, she immediately saw Titanic, and I'm laughing because I'm incredulous. She drew that Titanic going down and the storm that's sinking it above it, if you notice the storm. Phenomenal. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that. And if I would have, I definitely wouldn't have attempted it. I can't draw a sinking boat. And it was just stunning. So all three of us looked at this and saw a different story, there was love, and then there's rescue. And then, of course, mine here is, I think he's doomed. I think he's going down. So it was just really super fun. And who knew this, this fairly simple picture would evoke so many different feelings and moods. Again, just wonderful buddy coloring. This is what buddy coloring is all about. If you haven't done buddy coloring, you might be surprised at how motivating and inspirational and just plain fun it is. And if you're scared to reach out to somebody, I can't think of anybody who would tell you no. The only reason anybody might say no is that they're just full for that month and can't fit any more pages in, but they'd be happy to do another month, which is usually my situation. But reach out to me. And also, I'm now doing monthly plan videos, and my June plan video is out. And if you see a page in there that I'm already planning to do, because I am full for the month of June, but if you see a page that you'd like to join in and color with me, message me and we'll do it together. That'd be great. I'd love it. I absolutely love buddy colors. I only limit myself to 5 new pages being added to my list. But definitely if one I'm already doing, you want to color with me, that'd be fun, because I like to put them side by side and see our different viewpoints. I think that's fascinating. All right. After this, I went back to the fun mermaids. Hold on. So I had 2 buddies in this book this month because, of course, it's Mermaid. So the next one was with Disney Megs, and at Disney Megs Coloring. And we both liked this page with the pig, and I'm going to show you Disney's first. I always call her Disney, but her name's Megan. So Megs did this, and isn't it cute and delightful? I mean, it's such a fun page with the mermaid coming up out of the service to talk to the pig. It's just adorable, and everything about it screams adorable. And of course, Megan's a fantastic colorist, so her coloring just always makes sense to me. It's like the palette works all the way through the page. She's got the focus, she draws her focus to, you know, where your eye needs to go to see the important parts of the page. And I just really like the colors she always chooses. She makes things, sweet pictures look very sweet, but not too, you know, childish. I mean, she has a very mature style of coloring with it still being beautiful and sweet and happy. So it's a very cheery, fun page. Okay, so let's look at mine. So by this time I was, I hadn't done a lot of fun, happy, perky pages yet, but I'd seen a lot of them, and I was like, I just can't do one more cute mermaid page. So what I did was this. So I made her kind of like an evil mermaid. So she's cute and sweet on top, and she's talking to the pig, but actually kind of enticing the pig, because look at what she is underneath. She is underneath this happy, pretty, bright, sunny is darkness and death. Now, I could have gone a lot further with this than just making the fish into skeletons and the, you know, the seaweed red and everything. I couldn't bring myself to make her really scary underneath, so I gave her some bling with some shiny black glitter pen. I don't know if it says what I wanted it to say, but I kind of thought it was fun. It was fun to try. I gave the fish jaws and teeth. So they all have jaws and teeth, so they're really scary fish. And then just made her black and white underneath, which really kind of made her look like she's got some really cool spandex on rather than just being an evil creature. But it was something different. I just did some swoops with white Himi gouache or maybe that's acrylic with the clouds, just the illusion of clouds. It really was something that was fairly fast. I wanted it to be interesting. I was starting to get a little tired of mermaids at this point, but I actually really liked it. Now this paper, again, I use alcohol marker here. This paper works so well with alcohol markers. I can't imagine using anything else. It's just the markers, it's the kind of paper markers are made for. It doesn't soak in so fast that you can't blend. It doesn't sit on top too long so it smears. It's just perfect. And that's why these pages are just so relaxing and fun for me. So yeah. I don't know, Piggy, you better stay on land because I don't know what's going on down here. So a fun page, a different page for me. And then I was really in the mood to do some spooky stuff. So let's get into some horror mermaids is what I like to call them for the month. So I think it was last month or maybe the month before where I did a page out of Francois Gautier's Dark Art Supernatural. I have his Dark Art series. This is the best one. It's the most recent one. He started off with, I mean, his pages are already very, very intricate, right? But these are colorable, intricate and colorable. I mean, they're intricate, but you could still get in there and color. His first one, which was Dark Art, is almost uncolorable. It's such tiny, intricate detail that I don't, unless you used fine liners, I don't know what you'd use. And then Dark Art Gothica is better, and I have that one, and I've done some pages out of that, but it's still pretty intricate. This is where he finally got, like, this is the page I did the other month, I think it was last month. And it's intricate, but he's kind of backed off a bit from some of the finest lines, so you can actually get in there and color and see what's going on, so you can black out things you don't want. I didn't black anything out on here. This black background was already there. And so I had so much fun doing this, though, because it's single-sided. So yes, alcohol markers, love it. I wanted to do another one in here, so I went flipping through and found this mermaid. Now, it came out, so we'll just take it out. So this mermaid, I fell in love with it. It's what I'm calling a horror mermaid, pretty scary. All of Francois Gautier's stuff is kind of spooky and disturbing, and I love it. And I did this as a buddy color with my friend Paula, who's at Coloring Mom, and I chose to do it as if she was almost like toxic, like her minions down here, which don't have eyeballs and look pretty dead. I just did in this glowing green highlighter I found. Didn't even realize I had any highlighters in the house. And then I wanted to make her different. I'd already done a red mermaid. I did plenty of pink. I needed a color that I hadn't done before. I knew I wanted to do the sky a dark blue because I wanted to make it kind of a night sky. So I didn't want to do her blue. So I chose green, and what she kind of gives me reminiscence of like a swamp monster vibe type thing more than a mermaid. And I kind of like it because she's got horns and a giant tongue. I just kind of made her very much into the like the webbed fingers. Just very much gave her the monster from the Black Lagoon type thing going on. Just very much a swampy monster thing. And then her ship is wrecked. It's all alcohol marker. There is, of course, the Gonzai Tombi gold watercolors are in there. There is pencil. I think it's polychromos. I'm sure it probably is. And then the green highlighter. There's some glitter gel pen on her to give her skin some more glittery, and her tongue and her horns. And I really liked the way she turned out. I thought it was dynamic and fun, and my first time doing an all green mermaid like this, so that was fun. And then I made the water green as well. Now I'm finally starting to figure out how to make it look like something's underwater. You just take a darker color, like I took this green and just did it darker under here, and I figured if it was underwater you wouldn't see the bling, but that's not really true, because that's when there's light shining, you do see fish reflections in the water because they have shiny scales. But I was thinking maybe it was night, so it was dark, so her tail would look darker underwater. So I didn't do any bling there. I didn't put any of the glitter gel pen there. I just did darker green and then went back to the lighter green up here, giving it the illusion that we're having to look through something to see it. Hopefully you can see that on camera. So let's look at Paula's. Paula sent me hers first, and it was so brilliant that it actually stumped me for a bit on ideas for my own. It's so good. I immediately caught on that the fish were dead. I mean, don't they look dead? And the fact that she used pink, it just made it all the more creepier somehow. It's beautiful and yet terrifying at the same time. And it's so good. It's so spot on and so good that I had to really put some thought into my own, because I just kind of went, duh, I can't possibly do anything now. This is the best that picture can be colored, I think. So it took me, I don't know, most of the month to think about this. And I did it towards the end. I got it finished at the end of the month. But I had to go completely opposite and completely something different, because I just couldn't think anymore. Yeah, Paula, you really knocked that out of the park. It's just really a wonderful picture to look at. So I did this. I did the green gooey one. I made her green and gooey and gave her toxic radioactive minions down there. So that was my page in The Dark Art Supernatural by Francois Gautier. I really do recommend these books, but this one in particular. I mean, I don't know how you color in the others very well, but this, I mean, that is busy. That is busy, but you can it's still not as tiny as the others, believe it or not. They are much tinier. This one actually has, some breathing room in some of these, and you can see what's going on in the pages. Now, it is horror coloring, and a lot of you aren't into that, but some of you are really into that. I think this one's so cool. Look at him. He's cool. So if you're really into it, the paper is fantastic. It's cardstock. It's fantastic paper. I don't know why my book is falling apart. None of my others have. It's just, I must have cracked, I think it was me. I think I cracked the spine too much on this one. But fantastic artist, really fantastic artist. Highly recommend them. All right. So after this, I did another spooky. So let me show you that. So this is Mystic Art Mirrors. And Mystic Art Mirrors is on Etsy. And she does amazing artwork. And this is from her, this was an untouched book. I actually bought the book of these. I like her mermaids so much that I bought the whole book rather than just a single PDF like I normally do. And her book is, this book is called Ocean Dreams Coloring Book. Now she has a few mermaid ones. Another good one is Ocean Friends, and it's mermaids holding like a pet or an animal, or they're really wonderful. This is Ocean Dreams. And on this one, I got out my Rosa watercolors. Now I haven't used them in a long time, and they're so good. They are right here. These are the Rosa watercolors. I think the sets look a little different. These are older. I think they look a little different now. I think they might be bigger. But let me open one up and show you what they come like. So this is the swatch of mine. Here's my palette that I'm using. They come with this. Now this, I believe, is attached like so. It opens up like this. I saw in a video how to detach it, and you just take the pins out here. There's little pins, and it's much easier to use detached. Attached, it hangs on and just sort of, what happens is when you open it like this, it sort of hangs down at an angle. It doesn't lie flat, and all your paint runs. So I followed that colorist's advice, detach it, and it's metal. So I use it as a palette. And then these are the colors. And it comes with this tin, which is cool because you have room for more. If you want to purchase some open stock, and you can use, this is where you can put paints, brushes, but you can also fit more palettes in there. So this is the set I have, which I don't know if it has a name or anything. I don't know. In their swatch they give you, they make it look like it granulates. It doesn't really granulate. I think that's more just getting to the end of the pigment. But they are beautiful. This is on watercolor paper. I did this swatch on watercolor paper. And look at that neutral. Actually, I switched these around. That's sepia. Look at the sepia. It is gorgeous. Umber is one of my favorites in here. Just really a well-procured set. Kind of pretty much you can mix whatever you need in here. The only thing you don't have is a white, but you probably don't need it. And then, oh, the yellow ochre. These are just gorgeous, and they are so nice quality to use. Now, these are made in Ukraine, so it's nice to support the Ukrainians. And woman-owned business, love it. So this is Rosa watercolors. You can get them on Amazon. They are an affordable watercolor, and just, in my mind, fantastic. And you can get different sets now. It used to be this was all you could get, but now there's bigger sets and different curated sets. And anyway, highly recommend them on Amazon. So I used them for this. Now, I didn't mean to make her as yellow as I did, but once I started, I just went with it and then brought in more yellows and then brought in kind of a greenish yellow. And then I really liked the way she was glowing. So then I really did some watercolor effects on her tail, but then I took a purple glitter pen and went around the scales. I did the same colors but added a blue in the water. See, aren't those pretty watercolors? It's hard to see because it's a small page, small area, and I did put a lot of, acrylic and glitter acrylic gel pen there, but metallic pens. But look at the colors. I mean, and they blend so well. It's just, yeah, see, it's, except for, I did alcohol marker for the black around here, but everything else is the Rosa watercolors. The moon is crayon, I believe. The moon is not paint. Yeah, it's crayon. I think it was sort of an afterthought. I did do the circles in paint. That's watercolor paint, you can tell. But this isn't watercolor paper, and I was a little concerned about doing just solid watercolor there, so I think I did. That's why I chose the crayons. Yes, and I chose these glitter crayons. Now, these are Crayola glitter crayons. Let me grab one. I got them at, I think, a Dollar General, and they're called Metallic. Now, they're no way metallic. All they are is they have a little bit of loose glitter in them, and you might be able to see that. That's all it is a little bit. So when you color with it, and they're not as pigmented as regular crayons. So I wouldn't recommend these. I would use regular crayons and then use some sort of glitter medium on top if you wanted them glitterific. Because all this did was add some sparkle to it. A little bit of sparkle basically reflects the light, but it's not metallic. Looking at it without a light shining on it, me just looking at it with my eyeballs, it just looks like it's got little specks of glitter, and it comes off, the glitter comes off, and it's not that attractive. But it was fun to experiment. Now I print these off 2 to a page, which I tell my printer to do that. So when I'm going to print, I click print, and then you can adjust the settings before you actually hit the go for it button. And so you can say print 2 to a page. And that's what I do. So I'll print 2 to a page, and then I'll pick, for the other half of the page, I'll pick another one I want. So this is the other one I printed out. So they printed out like this, 2 to a page. And then I just cut them, and I did this one. And I did it because I don't think I need this to be, 8 by 10. That's a lot of space to cover for just one figure. And it's easier on the mediums. It's a faster page to color. So I like them this small size. This is the other one I printed out that I thought I might try to get to for Mermaid, but I didn't, but I am going to get to it because it's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? I want to do every one in this book, so it really didn't matter which one I chose. But so I chose this one with her moth in the bottle. But that is my Mystic Art mirrors. I absolutely love her artwork. It's just, it's unsettling, it's moody, it's just really, really gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. Okay. But then I thought I needed a little break from the serious stuff, and I went back to a color by number. So let's look at it. Okay, this one is in a color by number Mickey, Donald & Co. This is another Hatchet Heroes one. And I have done a page in here before, right? That's the one I did this. I've done this one. Now, this was one of the first ones I've done. And I was still just trying to figure things out and what pens to use and stuff, but I really enjoyed it. It's hard to make these look bad. They're so well made. They're so well chosen, and I don't know how you do the color by number part. Some sort of computer program does that. But they're so well done that they come out well pretty much no matter what you use. So I had been really working I started this one but haven't finished it. But I was really working in the Tomb 10, and in my Looney Tunes ones I've done a lot of work in. And I have kind of neglected this one. So I decided, I think I just opened a page. I don't know why I did this one. I'm not going in order in this book. I'm just opening pages and doing it. And this is the one I did. Now, I didn't know what it was. I think I knew it was Donald, but I didn't know what else it was. And Donald Duck is my favorite character. So I decided to do this one. I think I was having a brain dead day again because I didn't really care. I just opened the book and did it. And it's cute. I think it's really cute. I don't know how he's walking with his feet turned different ways, but I have a feeling I might have done something wrong in here. But it was really fun. I experimented with, and I'm pretty sure something's wrong there. I experimented with some different acrylic paint pens I had that I've had for a while and that probably I need to get rid of or use up. And so that's kind of another thing I do with these is I'll use up some of my older acrylic paint pens. And then where it was white, the one thing I did that was different here is there was a lot that just was not colored, just leave it white. But then you would see all the lines and stuff through it. And I didn't want that. So I used white acrylic paint with a paintbrush. I used a pen for this blue, and I'll never do that again because that was a lot to use a pen on. And I really had to stop and clean the pen a lot. Plus I was worried about using up all the pens. So that's the downside of not finding an outline first. Like I had no idea how much of this pink was going to be there. I was just coloring the numbers. And like I had no idea this was going to be all blue. So I started here and it didn't look like a very big spot. So I used a paint pen. And then as I went on, I was like, oh gosh, this is huge. So that's where it would be helpful to look ahead and say, oh, that's a big spot of this number, which I wasn't doing that day. And use a brush with paint, and it would be a lot faster and save your expensive paint pens, because pens, those acrylic paint pens like Tule Art and stuff are expensive, and acrylic paint is super cheap. So yeah, so just something I did for fun. I cannot remember this episode or why Donald was a nun. I cannot remember. I've been trying to remember why he dressed up like that and why he has a little penguin. But anyway, a lot of fun. I love these color by numbers. They're always fun to do. And I would love to do them too as a buddy. So if you've got a buddy if you've got the Looney Tunes ones, I have this Mickey and Donald, and I have Tomb 10. And soon I will have Tomb 11, I hope. And those are the only ones I have of the Hatchet Heroes. But yeah, let me know if you want to do a buddy. So after I cleared my brain on that one, I had 2 more that I ended up doing for the month, right? Yes, and both were spooky. So let's look at them. Okay, the last 2 are PDFs, and I have to say they are my favorite of the month. So this is Denise Coloring Art, and I will put her name across here. Denise is spelled with 2 S's. This is Denise Escobar. I think she's from Portugal. She has an Etsy shop, and this is what I did. Now, her drawings, her art is very sketchy. Let me see if I have something of hers. I do, because I'm doing it for June, and I put it in my June plans. So this is one of her art before I've colored it, and see how sketchy it is? You can really see the artist's hand in it, and I absolutely love that. I don't care for AI. I don't care for images that look like they were drawn with AI, even if they were hand drawn. I don't like things too perfect. I want them to be a little quirky or odd, whether that's the style or the illustration itself, or maybe there's like sketchiness like this, which makes it kind of easy to color. It looks like it would be hard to color, but you can use that sketchiness where she leaves her lines in, she doesn't clean up her lines, as shading. It's almost like a grayscale, even though hers are not grayscale, but there's just a lot of lines in there because she doesn't put it in a program and clean it up. It's just her artwork. So this one was, believe it or not, although it's one of my favorites, it was very fast because it was darkly shaded in a lot of places, and all I had to do was do alcohol markers over it. So I treated it like any other grayscale, and I did alcohol markers over it with not a ton of shading. It's mostly alcohol markers. I think I did, yeah, it's all alcohol markers. I don't think there's any pencil in this at all. Nope, no pencil. Alcohol markers and white Posca. Now, someone mentioned that she looks like a ghost mermaid, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's what I want to call her. I left her last. I knew I wanted everything else to be dark around her, so it kind of recede. I knew I wanted his clothing to be dark. I did like I did like giving him pale skin, so that, because he's underwater and I think probably gone from this world. And so I wanted him to have pale skin, and I wanted it to show. I wanted those arms and hands to show. But for her, once I got done, I realized I had used a lot of the colors that I thought I would use on a mermaid already in the scenery, and now I wasn't sure what to do for her, but I knew I wanted to give her white hair, so I started there. And I just left the white of the page, but then put white Posca over Denise's sketchy pencil marks, so it made it look like it was gray. And then I was like, well, that's pretty cool. What if she was all kind of a white mermaid? How do you make white? Well, you have to put shadows on them to make white. So this white here down the center is the white of the paper. It's not touched. And then I have a lighter gray and a darker gray and a darker gray and a black. Maybe not even a black, maybe just really dark gray on the edges. So you can probably see that there. Of alcohol marker. And then I used white Posca to make some dots, but I didn't touch that center stripe down, and kind of did the same technique that I did with the Camila de Erico one with the purple mermaid. And when I was done, I was like, she is frightening. And I really like her. I don't know. I didn't have a plan at all for her. It just happened. And sometimes my favorite colorings go that way. They're just like no plan. They just happen. And the cool thing about this is Denise Escobar reached out to me when she saw this. I tagged her in my post on Instagram, and she said she wanted to use it on her website and in her stories. And I said, that'd be great. I mean, how flattering is that? I've never been asked that before. So I was really excited about that. But it really is just alcohol marker. This took me one evening, like just sitting down after work one night and did it. I've never done a page that quickly, I don't think. That wasn't much simpler. So I tell you, her artwork, although it looks kind of daunting with all the pencil marks, and that it's not cleaned up, it is very easy to color. And they come out beautiful because of those pencil marks. So don't be frightened of it. Especially if you have markers, because then the darker shading kind of comes through the markers and helps you with the shading, and really super easy to color. I'm doing one of her snail fairies for June. She has a snail fairy book and a mermaid book. I purchased this whole book because every single picture in it is wonderful. This book is called her Mermaid Coloring Book, and her drawings are all a little off, like her figures, you can't say they're pretty. They're unusual, they're different, they're disturbing a little bit. Not a lot, not like Nellie Shoemaker, who is next. But they're all a little off, and I just think her artwork is beautiful. So they're on Etsy. She's also got some of the most affordable artwork you will find on Etsy. So it's usually only less than $2 for a page, like $1 something. And so it's well worth it. And she's a wonderful person. We've talked a little bit now online, and she's a wonderful person. So there you go. That's my second to last mermaid, another horror mermaid. And then I have one more, and I'm just going to pull that out right here. And this is Nellie Shoemaker, Hollow Moon Art. And this is her name. She's on Etsy. And there's some nudity in this one. I posted on Instagram, but come on, we're all adults here. So, and it's art. So this is my favorite of the month, actually. I love everything about this one. I'd done a purple mermaid, but I really wanted to do a blue, pinky purple mermaid, the typical mermaid colors. But when I started doing her, I realized, I'm putting her out in space. I'm going to make her a cosmic mermaid. I want her to be out in space. So she's all alcohol markers. All that pink and purple is all alcohol markers. And in fact, she's a very limited palette. She's kind of the same pinks and purples. I think there's 2 purples and 1 pink. And she's kind of that everywhere. And then there's a little gray. And then her hair, I wanted to make different because it's a very, Nellie has a lot. There's a lot. She always has a lot of hair, and it's a little busy there. So I used acrylic paint pens, and the lighter color is a metallic one. I wanted to that's where I started, was with her hair. I thought I'll do her hair, then I'll be able to see her body better. So I did the hair and liked the shine so much that I knew I had to make her shinier elsewhere. And I tried to channel my inner coloring with K on this. I do not have like sparkly, colory watercolors. I don't have any. I wish I did, but I don't. But I do have metallic Hemi gouache, and I don't use it enough. So I pulled it out, and It's not watercolors. It's thick. You see the texture. You see the brush stroke. So it's not smooth like watercolor. But wow, it really does shine, doesn't it? Especially in the light. It doesn't shine as much as the watercolors do, but in the light, it's really gorgeous. So, and then I made her background. I used, once I had my gouache out, I painted the background with blues and purples, just kind of messy, painted it, and then used the metallic gouache to make the stars blue and purple. So this is all alcohol markers and metallic gouache, and then some paint pen for her hair. This one was a lot of fun because of the minimal palette. I like minimal palettes because it really relieves the decision fatigue. You just have these 5 pens and then you just figure out where to use them. And that was a lot of fun. I didn't even need to take all my pens to work working on this. Actually, I don't think I took this one to work because of the nudity. But yeah, I think this is beautiful. Neliki has gorgeous, gorgeous artwork. She has a couple of coloring heavens. She has a Vikings one, and then she does Vikings. She does kind of like Vikings and then kind of mystical, magical, little bit dark and mysterious creatures. All of her stuff is a little dark and mysterious. On her Etsy store, she does have some more racy stuff too, if you're into that. And she has like 2 or 3 coloring heavens though, and you can download most of them off of the Coloring Heaven Etsy site for $6. So if you like her artwork, she's got more there. But I find the artwork that I like of hers the best I find on her Etsy store, because it's much more unusual, much more different, individual. And I just think this woman is someone that I would like to see from afar. I'm not sure if I want to go out for coffee with her, but I think she might be a little bit dangerous. But I love that she's wearing a unicorn skull on her head. Because yes. All right, so these are all my coloring pages for the month of May. I had so much fun. I had buddies, I had untouched books, I had just so much fun, and sharing them with you is my joy and one of the main reasons I do this, because I do like to connect with all of you. So if you want to do a buddy with me in June, check out my June plans video and see if you want to jump onto some of the pages that I've chosen for June. And the next videos you're going to see, there'll be a Color the Tarot, hashtag Color the Tarot, where I do, I have a whole video series where we started with the Fool and we're moving on through we're still in the Major Arcana right now, but we're going through the whole tarot deck, learning the meanings of the cards and seeing examples of artwork of the cards, and then coloring cards ourselves, coloring pages ourselves. And there's a giant compilation reel in those videos of all of your work that you've submitted. So that's a fun series if you haven't started on that. You'll see one of those coming out this month. And I'm going to be doing my yearly audit of my coloring books and getting them organized. So we're going to do that together. I find that actually really fun. I like to watch your videos doing it too. Something about putting them in order and getting them all squared away and knowing exactly what I have and what pages I've done is just one little part of my life that I have under control. It feels really good. Gives me that dopamine check. You all have a wonderful June. I can't wait to see your pages, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.